So today I'm going to teach you how to make these flower hairpins in slightly different styles using these materials. So I have 24 gauge round wire, 12 gauge round wire, hammer block, bail making pliers, small cutters and large cutters if the small cutters don't work. And you also need a ruler. I also recommend having sandpaper in 3 different sizes, from really gritty to less gritty. So first I cut out 7 inches of 12 gauge wire. Then I fold it in half to make like a U curve, like that. Then I use bail making pliers on the highest loop, or the largest loop, and I put that in the center, and then see if it's at the center, and then I smush it down so it takes the shape of the circle. So put it here and sort of bend it. So it's like that, and compare it to the one I already have. And adjust as needed. And then, forgot to mention, you need these chain nose pliers. And what you do next is you bend the here out. So I use chain nose pliers like these, and compare it where I want it to bend. So right about there. And then just bend it out and do the same for the other side. And try to make sure they're even. It's kind of difficult, but that's what it looks like. So you bend it at approximately 2.5 centimeters, or about 1 inch. So next, let's make the other curves. The other curves are all about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters apart. But it might be easier just to compare it with the original. So you can use chain nose pliers for a more sharp look, or round nose pliers for a more curvy look. And I'm gonna compare it, and then go in and shoot and bend it, and on the other side. That was too low. So this segment is 1 inch long, and the angle is also important. It's not too wide. So then the next one, open that up. I'm gonna try and bend it. It's really tough. And bend it the same on the other side. And adjust it, and that was not very equal, so I bent it like that. And then do the same again. And then use chain those flowers. Okay, I cut the wire a bit short on that side, so I'm gonna try to make it so it cut out on me because I had to change the battery pack, but basically it's a bit short on that side, so I have to make it shorter in order to make the full design. So I think I'm just gonna go right there, and this bottom part is tricky. So I'm gonna use chain nose pliers to bend it. And compare. And do the other side. And try to make that balanced. So it looks like that. And then we need to make this part at the bottom that kind of sticks out, and make sure, let's see, so maybe there. Okay, our nose pliers aren't very strong. Just use chain nose pliers. And yeah, so it's not very even, so I'm gonna have to cut the bottom of the wire to make it even. So these ends are almost even, good enough for me. And then, or if you want to make them look more even, you can kind of twist the other one to make it look shorter. I don't know. I think it looks better when it's not twisted further. So this is the finished, not the finished. You finished making the hairpin piece, but now you need to hammer it and sand it. So to hammer it, you need a block and a hammer with a flat side and a round side. The flat side is for making it flat, and the round side is for putting dents in it, like divots, like it kind of looks better that way. So the hammering, so basically you just hammer it, and I can't hold the camera and hammer it at the same time, so I'll just show you what it looks like when it's done. So first I use this flat side to flatten it slightly, and then I use the round side to make divots all over the front and back. So I hammer both sides and use both ends of the hammer. And remember, when you hammer it, to hold one end with a finger or hand and hammer the rest, so it doesn't go flying off or make dents that you don't want. So this is what it looks like after I've hammered with the flat end of the hammer both sides. You can hardly tell on the camera, but it has a little flat ridge now. Now I'm going to use the round side of the hammer to hammer both sides. So this is what it looks like partially hammered. The more you hammer it, I think the more complex the texture is and the better it looks. So I've hammered some more, and it's starting to change the shape, but we can fix that after the hammering. Another option is just to not hammer it with the rounded side and just leave it flat, and it looks pretty good that way too. So after I hammered it, it looks like that on both sides. I was gonna leave half of it like flat, but then I already started hammering and I didn't want to have part of it hammered and part of it not. So yeah, it's bent slightly out of shape, so gotta bend it into shape again, and use your hands or a chain nose plier. And Okay. So the next step is sanding these so they are not sharp. And first, I would do this over a trash can. And I recommend you wear a mask or something, but I don't have a respirator. So first I use the grittiest sandpaper, then I move on to finer and finer sandpapers, and I just like go all around in a circle and in between the prongs. So this is what it looks like after it's been sanded. It's just a rounder and they won't poke anyone. So now it's time to make the flowery piece of the hairpin, and there's two ways you can do this. There is a simple way where you just slide it on. Well, I'll show you. But first you gotta get some 24 gauge round wire. So what you do with your round wire is first you want to straighten it. You can use a cloth or straightening or nylon jog pliers, and then you want to get a ruler and leave like depending on what style you're going for. If you want to do the simple style, then leave about like 2 inches on the end, and even if you're doing advanced style, I guess 2 inches is okay. And then you wrap it, move it to the end, wrap it around 20 times. That's 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I wrapped it around about 20 times, and now I'm gonna cut off the end with my flush cutters, about 2 inches, so I have some room to attach it, and then you slide it off. So what you do after you slide it off is you can either just slide it on to the hairpin and use the extra tails to wrap around the neck and connect both sides of the hairpin together so it doesn't slide, or you could attach it like that first and then use other or you can like put it in front of the hairpin and attach it like that using the tail ends, and then use some wires and attach the loops to the hairpin, and then use another wire and attach it to the body of the hairpin, and then wrap the extra long wires around the body. But today I'll be showing you this version because it's easier and I think it looks a bit nicer. So you slide this off and try not to get it try not to let it spring loose, and hold it like that, and then you get your hairpin and you slide it on. So put it through the holes like that, and then you slide it up and kind of let it fan out so it looks like that. Then you let it come down and wrap this wire around and also in between and connect it to the other side. So you would do a figure 8 weave, like that, and then once you've done it a couple of times, then wrap the wire around one of the posts to secure. So then you wrap it around. So I'm gonna have it cross to the other side and then wrap. And then you would trim and tuck the tail. So I've trimmed the end and now I'm gonna tuck it in using my chain nose pliers. Okay. So then we gotta sort of spread out the petals of the flower, and looks kind of jumbled. Then we do the same wrapping technique on this side. So wrap it. And for this we don't need to do the figure 8 weaving because we already did that. And so I'm just going to wrap it a few times around the wire it's closest, around the thick wire it's close to. And then I will trim the end and pinch it. There you go. So it looks like that so far. So I fiddled around with it to make the petals more even, and here is the finished look. And here are all 3 hairpins side by side. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful and it will inspire you to make your own flower themed hair creations. Bye!